A national nonprofit organization uses the power of a purse, an item every American woman has in her closet, to provide sex trafficking survivors with an opportunity to live free, embrace redemption, and pursue a confident future. Their story is coming up on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Brian Lacey, and joining me in studio is the executive director and founder of One Purse. Her name is Heather Case. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I've seen some of the work that you've been doing throughout the county and also throughout Orlando, and it's absolutely incredible. How does One Purse start? Where does the beginning come from?
Sure. Well, in 2011, I was shopping at an upscale consignment store, and I found one purse that I fell in love with. And at the time, I had left the corporate world, was now a stay-at-home mom to four, and this beautiful designer bag was really not in my budget any longer. So I left the purse there, but the purse did not leave me. I continued to think about this purse. I went back and visited it several times. And after visiting it, I had this strong conviction, this feeling. I am a person of faith, and I just felt like God was impressing this thought on my heart that for the amount of money I was considering spending on this one purse, I could change someone else's life. And so I just started to process that. What does that mean? You know, am I really supposed to do something with purses to help vulnerable women and children? And kind of as I processed it with my husband and my friends, really felt like I was supposed to do something like that. So the very first One Purse gathering was, I went to my girlfriends and I said, hey, donate your gently loved bags to me, and then I'm going to invite you over for brunch, and I'm going to have you pick out a bag that's new to you, and you're going to give a donation in exchange for that bag, and we're going to change someone else's life. And that's how One Purse got started. That's still very much what we do today. These One Purse gatherings are just women in civic groups or Bible studies or in their neighborhood inviting their girlfriends to donate their handbags, and then coming and picking out one that's new and changing someone's life.
How did the human trafficking become part of what you knew, what I want to say your calling? Where does that fit in?
So when I got started with One Purse, I really didn't know that I would end up working in this space. All I knew is that I was to be in service to vulnerable women and children. And so early on, that took on a lot of different projects. We did freshwater well fundraising, adoption fundraising, but we began helping trafficking survivors, specifically in international places. At the time, if you had asked me in 2011 what human trafficking was, I would have probably described something in the developing world, women chained to beds and brothels, which is horrifically true in the developing world, but it looks a little different here in our culture. But I had no idea that it was happening here. But as the organization moved along and I started to become involved with those projects, and I felt like it's time to kind of refine what we do. It had kind of grown from an organic, just me doing one gathering to the next, to people, taking a greater interest in our mission. Helping trafficking survivors was the thing that wouldn't let me go. Their stories and their pain and their journey, I just felt very called to helping them.
You've seen this from the start and obviously seen some success come from it. Talk to me a little bit about what you've seen take place and really where you're looking for this to go for you.
Well, on the continuum of care for survivors, there's the initial helping them to escape, helping them to break away from their traffickers. And that's kind of the critical care place on the continuum. And then there's kind of the serving them as they walk out the journey of their trauma, and, how do they get whole and well and able to kind of re-enter, society. And what we have found is that that place on the continuum of care where survivors have to decide, am I going to take hold of a new vision for my future and a new dream for my life, Or am I going to fall back into some of the same patterns that made me vulnerable to becoming a victim of trafficking to begin with? And oftentimes for them, the recidivism rate in trafficking for trafficking victims is very high. And that's because that fear of that unknown future can be so much greater than looking back and taking hold of their painful past again. And so that's the need we fill on the continuum, is standing there in the gap and believing for them until they can believe for themselves that they were made for so much more, and helping them to take hold of a new dream and say, what were you made to do vocationally? What are you interested in pursuing in your education? And helping them to take that next right step, whatever that is for them, whether it be them going back to school and us assisting them. There are resources for scholarships, but often lots of gaps in that. Maybe it's books, maybe it's registration fees. Those are things that we can help them with. We've also had a survivor that said, I want to get my yoga certification and I want to help other survivors be able to get well through that. And so we were able to give her a scholarship to do that. And now she's not only able to help survivors through that yoga training, but also begin working on certifying them so that they can gain employment in that arena. So it looks kind of like that. But our goal is that no survivor would return to that life for lack of opportunity, for economic stability,
One thing that I've seen, I see that this started in Orlando, but it's quickly growing. You've got incredible partners here in Polk County, and great support from a nonprofit here, and of course a sheriff that lends his name to them. And then recently I've seen you as far away as Tallahassee. Talk to me a little bit about those partnerships, both whether it be in Orlando, Tampa, Polk County, Tallahassee. Talk to me about those partnerships and how you're growing with those.
Absolutely. Well, one of our great friends in this work is the Florida Baptist Children's Home. Here in Polk County, they serve minor trafficking survivors through the Porch Light, and we love the work that they're doing, and we've locked arms with them in that effort. It's important for us as an organization to partner with other organizations that are have best practices, that are doing what they're doing well, because we want to make sure that the survivors that we're coming alongside of have had poured into them the resources that they need, the counseling that they need, the assistance that they need. And so we have some great partners in Orlando. Samaritan Village serves adult women there. We have a partner down in Fort Myers, Into the Jordan. They also serve adult women. There's a lot of organizations throughout the state of Florida that, not enough, I will say not enough, but there are a lot of great organizations that are working on what I consider the front line, which means when that survivor has first had the opportunity to escape, where do they go and how are they served? And and that's who our partners are. They're serving them there in those immediate times of need.
One thing that I really want to talk about now is the actual parties, and the beauty of the plan is it's so simple, and it's something that you do that you wouldn't even think twice about it, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're going to do this, and then all of a sudden we're going to raise money. So say someone's interested in hosting a party. Let's talk from beginning to end, what they have to do, who they have to contact, and some of the things that they're going to have to do.
Absolutely. So if someone's interested in hosting a gathering, they can go onto our website at onepurse.org. That's onepurse.org. And there's a tab on that there that says host a gathering. And all they have to do is input their email address, and we will send them the initial digital kit, which gives them access to our hostess guide and some videos that walk them through what hosting a gathering looks like, and also downloads of things that they can, if they want to put it together with their church and they want to put something in the bulletin, or they want to put something up on a bulletin board, we have digital resources for them there. Once they've determined, okay, I know the group that I want to host this with, it's my girlfriends in my neighborhood, they'll go ahead and pick a date and tell us that digital kit that we send to them prompts them to say, when are you going to host your gathering and how many people are going to attend? As soon as they tell us that, we send them a kit that looks like this at no cost to them. And when they receive the kit, inside of it is a hostess guide that walks them through all the steps of hosting a one-purse gathering, which really, as I said before, is as simple as that first gathering that I mentioned. It's just gathering bags from their girlfriends, cleaning them out, making sure they really do meet that gently loved, kind of criteria. And then we encourage them to take brown bags or whatever, stuff them. They always show a little nicer that way. And then when the ladies arrive at a gathering, they are given a tag, and they use that tag to select the bag that they want to take home with them. We do not ask our hostesses to get into pricing all of the bags or anything. We basically have two breakdowns of bags. We have bags that are put onto an open table, and we just ask for a suggested donation of $10 or more. Mm-hmm. And then we have higher end bags, boutique bags. I brought one here with me. That we might ask for a slightly higher donation. So the way we distinguish those is we put a specific tag on them. And then, so a lady comes to the event, she puts her name on the back of one of these tags, and she says, this is the bag I want to take home with me. And the boutique bags would sit on a table that might say suggested donation $50 or more. And so she would just write on the back of the tag that she's willing to give $50 for this bag. We have a video that we make available to the hostesses that shares more about what trafficking looks like. Actually, some of the resources in there have been provided to us by the Porch Light. Florida Baptist Children's Home has helped us with that video effort. And so they hear about the need, they understand where their resources are going, and an hour or less, they can make a big difference in someone's life.
Now, the tag thing, I got to ask a question about, because I know women are competitive about getting a great bargain.
Yes.
So if the tag is already on the back, nobody else. Once it's claimed,
the fun
or
part. That's kind of
yeah, because I could see some hockey body checking going on, and it's a great fundraiser for a great cause. But there have been some times that women could be competitive about their bags, right?
This is true. So that's actually how we work to be good stewards of what's given to us. We let the women bid off right on the bag with their tag. So all they do is they write their name on the back of the tag and the most they would give for the bag, and they put it on there. And if their friend comes behind them and says, well, I'd give $5 more, well, they have the option to go back and cross out their bid and put a higher amount. And that's part of the instructions we give to the hostess, is that, kind of give them a 5-minute warning. It's like a silent auction or anything else. There is an end point and they have to make their decision. But that's what's fun about it. Women enjoy that, and knowing that they're bidding and that those resources are going to a good cause encourages them all the more to get into that fun. So.
Wow, Heather, that's an incredible thing that you're doing, and I got to tell you, in my years of doing this is probably one of the coolest, most organic, natural things that I've ever seen come along.
Oh,
and the beauty of it is it can be as small as 10 to 15 people, and it can also be something
Hundreds.
huge that you can maybe take part of a civic center and turn it into a community thing.
That's right. We've had gatherings with as many as 300 women at them. So you're right. It can happen with 10 women. It can happen with 20. There's not a group too small, and there's not a group too large, and that's what's so awesome about it. And I think another thing that's really cool and unique that I feel God's given us in this is that purses open the door. Trafficking is a really hard, dark subject matter to enter into the knowledge of. And so by being able to kind of marry it with something that women find fun or enjoyable has opened up the door for us to raise awareness and promote prevention in circles that might have otherwise not come to know about it. So.
Heather, one thing that I found sitting in this chair is social media, the internet, and people's little phone gadgets have made your job easier. Talk to me a little bit about how it's helped you get your message out and also possibly fundraise.
Absolutely. So you're right. It's a wonderful medium to share upcoming events that are happening. Our Facebook followers, that's part of how we let them know about gatherings that are coming up in their area. We're actually going to start doing some online gatherings coming up. So I would encourage any of your viewers who might be interested in attending either physical events coming up or our online gatherings to follow us on Facebook, and then they can potentially participate in those events.
Well, Heather, I want to thank you for joining us on the show today, and please, please come back, and you are always welcome in that chair, and to bring back and others and share success stories with us. Please come back and see us again, will you?
Absolutely, I will. Thank you so much for having me, Brian. Appreciate it.
One Purse wants you to gather your girlfriends and host a One Purse gathering in your church, community, school, or home. All the proceeds from their gatherings go to the One Purse Restore Her Dream Fund and are used to help sex trafficking survivors pursue a confident future. Exchange a purse, change a life. All women are invited to bring a gently loved handbag and choose another purse at the party in exchange for a donation to help change the life of another in need. Now, if you need more information of One Purse, you can check them out on the web at www.onepurse.org.